hair, whatever the case might be that's happened to you. Maybe you've lost some hair and you're trying to figure out what to do with it. This is actually what the show is going to be about. And we are joined by Jill and Lee. Is that correct? All right, so welcome to the show. I also have to give a shameless plug for our YouTube channel. This is also not only running out there live on the radio, as all of you listeners are aware, but you may not be as aware of our YouTube channel, which has about 1 million viewers on there, and we're very, very happy to all of you who are watching the shows as well. So the reason why I bring that up is that Jill and Lee just tend to be a couple of beautiful people that you're probably going to want to go check out there on YouTube, and they know what they're talking about, so make sure you pay attention. Keep those the pen and paper handy. They are joining us from Laser Med Solutions and Integrated Hair Solutions. So these are all going to be some great options about how you can really get out there and have a great solution for looking the best that you can. And you may have given up on certain aspects that after today you're going to have some hope in certain areas that you may have given up hope in. So definitely welcome to Jill and Lee on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're very welcome. So tell us a little bit about it. Now, your location here in Phoenix is relatively new. I wouldn't say new. You've been here a couple of years?
A couple years,
Couple
yeah.
years.
We're located right in Scottsdale, actually.
Okay, very
So
good.
it's on North Scottsdale Road, just about a block and a half north of Indian Bend Road.
All right, very good location. I mean, how many of you don't go up and down Scottsdale Road, even if you're like me and live over there in Arrowhead on the other side of the world, up and down Scottsdale Road, it just happens. And so they're very accommodating. Now you do, even though I'm kind of going to bust through policy here, you need to set up appointments because they're very, very busy. But if they ever have an open spot and you're in the area, just give them a call and they'll take care of you. So what does open spot mean? If somebody comes in and says, hey, I want to know what options there are for a man or a woman to look the best that I can, what do you normally tell them?
Yes, so we can do a free consultation or evaluation. We actually have very flexible hours. We're open every Monday through Saturday. We start at 7 a.m. and we take appointments all the way up until about 7:15 p.m.
It's amazing. A lot of these med spas and other places close right at 5 o'clock, and it's a little bit frustrating. You know, you're like, hey, it's a doctor's appointment. I have to go get off time from work, but they're very accommodating in their schedule.
Exactly. We know you have to make it in no matter what, so we do extend our hours for that reason.
All right, very good. Now, what's an ideal client? How do our listeners know that that some of their frustrations could be taken care of by you when they come into your treatment center?
Yeah, so with our program for the body contouring, this is actually really easy. All our patients do have to have in order for the program to work is those fat cells.
Okay, I think we all have them.
Yes, we do, especially after the holidays. We all have those areas that we're struggling with. So with this program, as long as those fat cells are present, it is definitely something that could work for you. And it does not matter whether you are male or female. Now, a lot of our patients that do come in, though, the great thing is they're already trying to live that healthy lifestyle. They just can't get rid of those stubborn problem areas.
Absolutely, which is what I mean by the frustration. That there's two places that you're going to feel really good about yourself after you're done with the treatments with Laser Med Solutions. Is that first of all, if you are pretty fit, and I try to throw myself in that category. For example, I ran almost 4 miles today in 30 minutes, which, I don't know, for those avid runners, they're like, yeah, whatever. But for those of you who are not avid runners, I feel pretty impressed with, with that 30-minute run. And I put it on hill, too. So, it was up and down the hills and whatnot. And I actually do run the mountains. And so, if you look at me on YouTube, you might not say, wow, there's a completely fit guy. I probably fit the category of, I'm definitely not going to be out there in some bodybuilding tight suit here, and because why? Because I still have a couple of stubborn spots. And so the two places you feel good is that overall you're healthy, yeah, but you also, once, there's that time on the beach where you didn't expect. But yeah, now, let me take a moment to talk about social media, because it used to be that you could kind of guard what was going on onto your Facebook, and you still can, all right, but still people tag you. And also it got even worse Okay, so you go out on the beach. You don't know who's taking pictures. You might be a little sauced, and so you have your inhibitions are a little low, and you peel that shirt off, and you normally don't. And I'm talking about guys here, okay?
Yeah, let's clarify that.
That's right. This is a family show. But then somebody tags you, and that beer belly that you've been trying to work off at the gym is still showing up a little bit, even though in your clothes you don't look so bad. And it still shows up when you get tagged. But now Facebook, the dastardly Facebook, they've got that facial recognition software now, and you just show up.
Yep.
So if you it didn't mean that somebody was trying to be mean to you, showing your pooch a little further out than it should be, and it shows up because they recognize your face. So that is a very, very important thing, to look your best and get rid of those stubborn spots. And now you feel good that you don't have to worry about when you're out and about and you're having a good time. You can actually run around on the beach and you'll show up like a commercial rather than just showing up a little poochy. So anyway, always a good thing. So keep going. Sorry to interrupt.
So, and the great thing about this program too, we do it over a period of 3 weeks. Now, within those 3 weeks, this is something that's completely non-invasive. So you are coming in for 9 sessions over that 3-week period.
Okay.
You definitely can do longer if you want. The minimum that we do the program on is just those 3 weeks. But if you're someone who has a little bit of a higher BMI or a little bit more inches to lose than what we're seeing off of that 3-week program, you can definitely do the program for longer to see more inch loss.
Now let me talk about BMI, because some people don't know what BMI is, right?
Yep.
It's a body mass index, and what body mass index is, it's kind of outdated, but it's a good general rule of thumb. The BMI, basically, if you have like a 36 BMI or a 42 BMI, then you're definitely in that range where you want to go out to you want to go to Laser Med as soon as you can. And also it takes some good healthy measures to lose some fat cells nutritiously, as well as over at Laser Med. But if your body mass index is ranging anywhere from let's say 26, 27 or lower, then it could be, there are bodybuilders that are very built, then actually have very lean, but they still show up with BMI high. And that's the only reason, it's slightly outdated. So, I'm going to make a suggestion to everyone. Go to Walmart, wherever you want to get a scale. They range anywhere from $20 to $40, and you can step on them in the morning. You used to have to get your feet wet. There's this all big thing, but now you just step on the scale, and it'll actually tell you what your fat content is, what your water content is, and then of course what your weight is, and a few other things that you may or may not be tracking. All right, and including BMI, right? So that you can see how that goes up and down, and you can actually track a little bit of that as you're going through the treatments with Laser Med centers and Laser Med solutions. So anyway, just a couple of helpful hints. Keep going.
Yeah, so like I said with this program, great thing about it, you're not undergoing any surgery, no side effects or risks with this. But we all know how busy everyone is out there, of course.
Yes.
So with this program, it's a 40-minute session, and like I said, that is 3 times a week. But when you leave, you have no downtime, so you don't have to worry about it interrupting your busy schedule. You can go right back to whatever you had planned for the day, which is awesome.
Absolutely.
Now, someone like you, who, like you said, you are at least a little bit active already, you're getting off the couch and everything.
Sure.
Anything extra that you do, so our patients that do a little bit of that cardio, or at least are pretty conscious about what they're intaking for diet, that's just stuff that's going to help benefit the program.
Sure, absolutely. As in anything, and if you've heard anything about on our other show called Ageless Living, or here on the Social Universe, we talk about things holistically. Here we are talking about social media, but we're talking about the holistic approach to the social media, rather than just which button you push over the last few weeks. So we've also talked about social media from the standpoint of where you want to be. So keep in mind that when you're on YouTube, it adds about 10 pounds to who you really are. So you want to look as contoured as you can before you start making YouTube videos thinking you're going to make cool commercials, and you being the actor. So We run into that actually. We deal with people that are in fashion, you know, and they a lot of times the owner won't admit that she's the one that did the modeling on the and might be a beautiful person, but she forgot to consider that it does add 10 pounds, and so she looks actually a little bit more heavy on the videos than she does in her modeling catalog, and it's frustrating for her. So anyway, another reason that you need to go visit Laser Med Solutions. It looks like we still have about 4 minutes. Do we want to talk about the science of how this works on this side of the?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So you go in and you have this 40-minute session. What's the science behind it?
Yeah, so during the 40-minute session, like I said, it is a cool laser technology. So you don't have to worry about any incisions or anything like that. Now, the device that we're using is called the Zerona. Now, with this, it was FDA approved and cleared back in 2008. So it's been around for a little while, but it's still very new technology. Now, the cooled laser technology is actually targeting those fat cells. What's happening is that throughout that entire layer of fat cells right below the skin is it is creating open pores or holes, which allows everything that fills up that normal fat cell, all those triglycerides, those fatty acids. It does allow those to secrete out. The body naturally absorbs everything right through the lymphatic system. Everything will then be metabolized and it is released as waste. So ultimately over that 3 weeks we're shrinking down those fat cells, and that's how you see yourself shrink down, and you are seeing a circumference inch loss from that target area that you choose. And
they're probably going to mention this to you in the after treatment, but drink a lot of water when you do that, because I know it sounds counterintuitive. You feel like, oh, I want to weigh as little as I can the next day, but you drink a lot of water, it will flush it all out.
Yes.
We actually have a laser bed in our home. My wife, you know, she wasn't going to have a great Mother's Day unless I got that for her. So we actually have that, and that's one of the instructions with that bed, and that it's laser technology. It's a different laser. It's not for too bad. It's not for fat reduction, but it goes in there and it opens up those cells. That it's a related technology that opens up the cells where they get rid of all of their toxins and all of that kind of thing. So it's related, similar, and so this technology is not. There's many different uses for the technology, and it actually works. I guess is what I'm trying to say. There's multiple related technologies that verify that this strategy works.
Absolutely. And that water intake definitely helps flush things in and out of the system, so we do always recommend that for our patients throughout the program.
Yeah, absolutely. And to create, looks like we still have 2 more minutes, an analogy, well, not so much, an analogy here is that for the YouTubers, I'm going to have you look at my hands. Okay, your cell in your body is supposed to be like this, and it's supposed to be open and healthy, and as nutrients come into it, then it holds on to those nutrients, and it lets all of the poisons and all of the waste flush out of that cell. Well, what ends up happening if you're smoking a bit too much, you're drinking a bit too much, well, any smoking is pretty much too much, but you know, those are things that are damaging your cells, and it shows up in your skin. The same thing with the alcohol you drink. Now, don't get me wrong, you're not going to walk into Laser Med Solutions and they're not going to say, okay, you need to go to AA, you need to stop your smoking program. Okay, these things will work even without it, but if you want to have the best opportunity to have the best results, then you want to, because here's what happens to this really healthy cell when you drink too much, smoke too much, eat too many Twinkies, now that they're back on the shelf and things like that. So it actually closes up like this, and so the nutrients can't get in, and the poisons can't get out, and all that really gets in there is just residue that builds up, and the fat builds up around it. It's just not healthy. So there's 2 things that are happening. Not only are they actually creating, is their technology getting into those fat cells, but it's actually making it more healthy so that it can actually wash out all of the toxins, and a lot of what's in your fat cells is also toxins, not just fat.
Exactly.
So 2 reasons you need to drink a lot of water and get rid of all that stuff. And good water, by the way, don't just drink tap water. Try to drink good, healthy water at the same time.
Exactly.
I'm sorry to give all the crazy
perfect.
advice here, but
no, very good. Very good.
All right, sounds good. Looks like we have about 1 more minute. What other piece of advice to go along with your technology would you give to people who want to be ultimately healthy?
Phone number.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the best advice I can give is how to contact them, because if you don't take action, then none of this is going to do you any good. And you can think about, I mean, believe me, I used to be 90 pounds heavier, so I thought a lot about losing weight before I finally did. So if you're thinking about it and you're sitting there on the edge, take that action, and here's the contact information to be able to reach them.
Yep. Our phone number at the clinic is actually 480-664-2081. And like I said, we're located right in Scottsdale. The address is 7373 North Scottsdale Road. And then we are in building C as in colorful, suite number 228.
It's a really nice building. You'll really like the whole experience. There's some stairs that will burn an extra 5 calories as you walk up.
Our patients say that every day.
Yeah, that's right. And it's absolutely wonderful. If you're like me, once in a while I'm running late, I actually run up those stairs and maybe burn 7 more calories. But all right, so having said that, make sure you reach out to them. A website, if you want to go, what is the best website?
Yeah, the best website is lasermedsolutions.com. Again, that is lasermedsolutions.com.
And you can also ask for Jill or Lee when you go in there, and they're obviously a ball of fun, as you can't tell on the show. All right, so it looks like it's about time to go to break. But when we come back, we're going to be talking a little bit more about some of the actual experiences that people have had. We're going to be talking about some life changes, what it can do for you. I'm sure you can imagine what your own life can be like if you can actually make those changes and reduce that fat. And I mean, just sky's the limit. And when we come back, we're going to talk about those. So don't go away. We're going to be right back after the break. This is Kurt Wilhelm, the host of The Social Universe here on Voice American World Talk Radio. And we will also be joined again when we come back from break by Lee and Jill from Laser Med Solutions. We'll be right back.